Hello, it's Ian Gray here. This is episode 50 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. I'm really excited because I got Victor Baus here from Restream. How are you doing, Victor?
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much for spending the time. I'm really excited because, we've on the show, I've been introducing a lot of live video tools, but we've not covered a tool like Restream because Restream is really at the heart is multicasting or multi-streaming, but there's so many other things that we can talk about what Restream does. But so just tell us, Victor, where are you dialing in from today?
Yeah, so I am dialing in from Ukraine, Kyiv, and it's a beautiful weather, but hopefully we will be taking this to the live.
Well, yes, it's hopefully, the happy, confident weather out there is going to make this a nice, happy, confident show as well. And of course, we have to say that many of us at the moment, of course, well, in fact, probably most of the world we're all stuck in our houses as well. So how's that going for you at the moment, being stuck in a house?
Yeah, this is awful. This is what I was referring to. But we will take it through, so no worries, everything will be fine.
Yeah, it will be. Well, we've got to stay positive. So if you're watching this in the future, we are in the middle of a world lockdown with COVID-19. So many of us are having to work from home. And so I think you were saying before, Victor, you normally work in an office with a team. So how's the transition been working from home? I mean, we've obviously got technology to help us, haven't we? But how's that been for you?
Yeah, so basically nothing changed much because we've been using that technology, Slack, Zoom, etc. And we are international team. We have teammates in the United States and Europe. So basically nothing changed drastically for us. And so it's just reduced one step of the additional communication that we had before, because before it was easier just to go to the product manager and ask to do this, to do that, and now this easy way is just removed.
Yeah, it is a challenging time. But I do appreciate you spending some time with us. We're going to be doing a bit of a deep dive into Restream, but also going to talk about multicasting and should we be doing that in the first place? So we'll be talking about all those kind of questions. So if you're watching the replay, it's great to have you here. Just put #replay in the comments and also let me know where in the world you're watching from. And of course, if you're watching live, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. And let me know where in the world you're watching from and whether you have gone into the world of multicasting, multi-streaming to more than one platform at the same time. It'd be great to know. So anyway, we'll be with you just after this.
This is the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Gray, helping entrepreneurs level up their impact, authority and profits through the power of live video. Gain confidence in front of the camera, confidence with technology, and confidence with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Hello, it's Ian Gray here for episode 50 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. So excited to be here. Today we're going to be talking about multi-streaming, and in particular we're going to be doing a deep dive into Restream in another one of these live video tool showcases, which is really, really exciting. But first, it's time to introduce, if the tech is going to work, and it is, my first sponsor, which is, funnily enough, Restream. So just a bit of an introduction to Restream, because Restream is just an amazing tool, particularly for entrepreneurs, because it is basically the complete multi-streaming suite for entrepreneurs. With Restream, you can stream to multiple platforms all at the same time. And they've got a plethora of destinations, including LinkedIn Live. There aren't that many tools that actually integrate with LinkedIn Live, but Restream does. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch, Periscope, and so much more. In fact, there are over 30 different platforms. So with Restream, you can stream from another tool to Restream, and then Restream will take care of that multi-streaming for you really easily. Or you can broadcast directly from Restream with their new studio, which we're going to talk about later. There's a new studio that allows you to do this directly from the browser. So yeah, you can multiply your views. You can simultaneously, if I can say that word, to stream to multiple platforms, which is absolutely awesome. So yeah, just a little bit more about the studio. This is a simple yet powerful streaming solution, which means you can multicast to all these different platforms, but you can also personalize your live streams with overlays. You can add a call to action or other important messages, and you can engage with your audience in real time, which is cool. So this is the chat feature, which is amazing. So there's no point in multicasting to all these different platforms if you're not going to engage in your audience, but Restream has that facility built in, so you can highlight comments on the screen and engage with them as well. So it's really awesome. You can do things like stream your pre-recorded videos live as well. And of course, there's an amazing analytics section, which I've been really impressed with. So this allows you to see which are the what's the most watched part of your video and get some insights on that. So if you want to find out more, all you need to do is go to iag.me/Restream. That's iag.me/Restream. And you can have a little play. There is a free plan and there are some paid plans, and it is pretty awesome. So it's time to bring in my special guest, Victor Baus. I'm so excited about this. Victor is head of marketing at Restream.io, which is, as I've said, a pioneering multi-streaming service in the live streaming world. But outside of marketing, he is a gaming person and a dog dad. I love that. What kind of dog have you got, Victor?
Thank you. I have a Labrador.
Oh, awesome. I love Labradors. We used to have a Labrador, black Labrador, very greedy. And basically ate my parents' kitchen once.
Oh yes, it's a true story. If only she could eat the whole bag of her food, she would easily do it.
I know, but you know, the great thing is at the moment we are in the middle of this worldwide lockdown with COVID-19. You might be on your own in the house, but you have a dog to keep you company, and dogs are just amazing company. Are you managing to take her out for a walk?
Oh yes, sure. I don't have any other choice.
Yeah.
But the time we spend on street is way less than before. Just in and out.
That's cool. So to tell me, I want to know a little bit more about what your role is at Restream, but I also want to know, you know, you mentioned you're into gaming. So I'm going to ask you about gaming first. What kind of games do you like to play?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so I'm not that old. Obviously, I'm 25, and I've been gaming my whole life. Since I was studying, and all started from the PC games like Counter-Strike and Warcraft and some other old school games. But right now, I'm more like a console gaming, and my favorite so far, I don't know if this is relevant to the audience, but if any of people game, the best is like God of War, but the series I would rather say is Assassin's Creed. I just like the setting of how the history is shown in the games and how you can be a part of the story. Yeah, this is amazing.
So it's very immersive, isn't it? These games, and you can change the story as you go along.
Exactly.
That's cool. Well, yeah, I don't know how many of my viewers and listeners are gamers. My son is an absolute Minecraft freak. He completely is obsessed, and he likes to hack it to death. He's been telling me about building command line blocks and building resource packs, and oh my goodness, I think we're going to start a YouTube channel together, and he's going to teach me everything. So, well, that's awesome. Just before I ask you a little bit more about your role at Restream, we've got some wonderful viewers, so it's great to hear from these people. We've got Leanne Moore watching on YouTube. So good morning, eager to learn about this tool. And also says from Kansas and no multi-streaming yet. So maybe this is a new thing for you. Cool. And what else have we? We've got Channel 7A watching from Edinburgh. Hi, watching from Edinburgh. And what else have we got? Oh, we've got a big comment here from Daniel. So yeah, cool to have you there. And that's awesome. So tell me more, Victor, about your role at Restream. How long have you been working at Restream for?
So I've been in Restream for 2 years now, and I joined the marketing team. Basically, there was no marketing. There were only the founders and developers, and this was the way for the company to put more effort into how the brand is shown, how the company is positioned on the market. And so, as I said, I've joined 2 years ago, and I started from easy activities like pay-per-click advertising, like search engine optimization, and starting from there, the team was growing. We have now a lot of people doing content, doing advertising, doing SEO, and I am basically managing all the processes.
Sounds like a busy job.
It is indeed, and a challenging one, I would say.
Well, I mean, the live streaming market has completely gone mad. I mean, since 2016, when Facebook Live was launched, back in those days, basically a lot of people were trying to go live with OBS Studio, and how times have changed. Yes, you can still use that tool, but things are easier, yet there are more platforms out there. And of course, certainly at the moment, I'm finding because of this worldwide crisis, so many more people are going live, and so I've seen so much more traffic to my website looking for help and advice on live streaming. Have you found the same at Restream?
Oh, the same. We've got a huge increase in traffic and registrations. So more and more people are live streaming and using our powerful tools to build their audiences or connect with more people. It all depends on the goals.
Yeah, I think that's important. You mentioned it depends on the goals. So I don't know. I didn't ask you this question before. I haven't told you about this, but so I might be putting you on the spot. But if Restream was a person, how would you describe Restream? If you could describe, is Restream a kind of a nice, friendly person? Is it kind of very techie? I mean, how would you describe Restream as if it were a person?
That's a good one. That's a good one. So basically, how we see this, the person is a bit older than myself. I would say like 30-ish years, and they are experts in their field, in, let's say, marketing, or they have a company, or they are marketeers, or social media experts, like anything, or they are gaming. And surely they all are friendly, not trolls.
Of course.
And they are eager to share their knowledge with the world, and to help people grow.
That's a good answer. I think you give yourself a pat on the back for that, because that's really cool. I think multi-streaming is still a relatively new thing to a lot of my audience, but one of the great things about multi-streaming is that you can reach a wider audience. You can reach, because not necessarily all your audience will be hanging out on Facebook. They might be hanging out on LinkedIn as well. So that brings me on to my next question, which is, can you give us some insight into how Restream was created? You said you've been at Restream for 2 years, but I mean, how long's Restream been going on for, and how did it start?
Oh yeah. So as I've heard the stories from the founders, Restream was founded in 2015, and in back then, not many people knew what live streaming is. Not talking about the multi-streaming at all. So the only major player at that time was Twitch, and it was primarily gaming. So not many people, as I said, knew what it is. But on the other hand, there was YouTube with a lot of video content. So we just knew that at some point, live video will be the next step of evolution of content, of how people engage with each other. So it was just a matter of time. And back in 2015, Restream's founders, Alex and Andrew, they had another startup, Tutors Band. It was a marketplace for tutors to like basically teach the students languages, anything. And unfortunately, it didn't went well. But the technology around the startup was live streaming, was live webinars. So Andrew and Alex took this idea of live streaming from the previous startup and just put it into Restream with a slight pivot on the live streaming market, because at that time they just knew that it will be going huge, and that multi-streaming was never heard before, and people said that it's a stupid idea. So it was a challenge, and this is basically how all started, because someone said that the idea will never be a success and it will not find the target audience.
And how wrong they were.
Yeah, indeed.
Absolutely. Well, and it was very difficult at one time to multicast, but we're going to go on to talk about multicasting in a little bit. But so why would you say we should be embracing live video? That might seem a silly question because so many of us at the moment are embracing it, but maybe particularly with the whole lockdown that's happening around the world with COVID-19, why would you say we need to be using live video as businesses?
If we are not taking into account the current situation around the pandemic and take a step back at how businesses were using live video, we can tell that it's just a next step of the video content, of how people were engaging with people and drive the desired actions. So let's say you are an entrepreneur and you have a web design business, right? So before you could just make a video on YouTube, but right now at this stage, this is not enough. You should connect with your audience on a deeper level and to understand what people want and to see. So I would say that the answer is to be more true, to be genuine, to be honest, and people always like that. Yeah. And so this is just makes sense, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you mentioned being authentic, and we need that even more right now because so many of us are at home, businesses are at home, and we haven't got that face-to-face, that real physical presence connection anymore. So we need it even more. And this is why live video, I think, is so powerful, like you say, because it allows your audience to connect with you. They can ask questions. They feel they can get to know you, which is awesome. And this is why it's great to have you on the show, Victor, because, you know, I think a lot of people have heard of Restream, but they might not necessarily have met the people behind Restream. So they're getting to know you and getting to know a little about what makes you tick and what makes Restream tick. So I can see some fabulous comments coming through. We've got some specific questions about Restream, which I will. So I can see Channel 7A is asking a question on YouTube, but if you're okay, guys, I will ask that question. I will ask Victor a little bit later on when we're going to look at Restream. Is that okay, Victor? You're happy to answer some questions?
Oh yeah, sure.
They're not too difficult, I promise. And we've also got Marcello watching on LinkedIn Live. Unfortunately, at the moment, LinkedIn still haven't released the feature to be able to highlight comments on the screen. So Restream can't do that, and no other tools can yet. But hopefully, I don't know whether you know whether that's coming, Victor. At some point,
be.
Hopefully, maybe you can't comment quite yet, but yeah, and Pascal is here. Pascal Fintoni is here. So I wonder whether you're back from your holidays. I assume you are with the world in lockdown. He says, wow, number 50. Well done, Ian. That's great. Yes. And Pascal, we need to get you on the show at some point. So what's been the most fun part of your job at Restream?
That's a good one. So the most fun part, surely there were a lot of fun from day-to-day basis, but for me, it's all about the challenge. I like that, like, live streaming industry is so new and it's changing so rapidly that you have no time. You have basically no time physically to make mistakes, to go slow. You need to always try new things, to grow, to see how businesses can improve their income and so on.
Yeah, it's such a fast moving place, live video. It just moves so quickly.
Exactly.
The technology moves on, and what we should be doing. And of course, the other thing is that the platforms themselves, Facebook and YouTube, have changed. And let's not talk about all the privacy issues that were a few years ago with Cambridge Analytica. And as a tool and a platform, you're going to have to change and adapt to all of those things. And of course, new platforms. I mean, I don't know how you manage to integrate with over 30 platforms. That must be completely nuts. I hope you give your developers, you feed them lots of coffee and other things, because I just don't know how they do it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So when it comes to multicasting, so I want to kind of rewind back a couple of years, and yeah, I will admit I am a bit of a geek, and if anything comes up like the idea of multicasting, I wanted to jump on it because it just seemed a really cool thing to do. But when I thought about it at the time, I decided against it for a couple of reasons. Because number one, at the time, it was really difficult to do. Because I didn't know about Restream at the time. So you had to kind of like delve into creating servers and all this kind of stuff. But the other thing was that it was very difficult to keep on top of all the comments across all the different platforms. Now it's a lot easier. But do you think, maybe you could tell us, I mean, on a very basic level, multicasting is streaming to lots of different platforms. Can you maybe go into a little bit more about how you would describe, or how would you define multicasting? And then the other question following on from that is, why should we bother? Why should we actually do multicasting in the first place?
Okay, so it would be better to start from the second question, from the big reason why. Because from this question starts all other activities. Is you should answer yourself, why are you doing this, and what will be the outcome of that activity? So the why of the multi-streaming is very simple. As a business owner, you want to reach more people, to convert them, to engage, to build your audience, to build trust. And it would be easier just to do it at the same time on all platforms, and not to stretch thin on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook. So basically, in the core, you just making one action that goes to all the platforms and reaches all your audience at the same time.
That's cool. So that's what multicasting is. So with Restream, as I mentioned before, you multicast, or you connect to over 30 different channels. So many of the people watching and listening will have heard of YouTube, obviously, and Facebook and LinkedIn, Periscope, maybe. Some may have heard of Twitch, but there's other ones out there. There's Mixo, and I mean, I'm not going to go through all of them, but should we consider streaming to all of those, or so what should we, when we're thinking about multicasting to some of the lesser known channels, what should we do? Should we consider when thinking about that?
That's a great question. So as a Restream is international company, we should cover all of the regional local platforms, let's say in Asia or in Russia or in South America and so on.
Yeah.
But for regular user, let's say from Europe and North America, the use case is quite similar with one tweak behind, depending on what you do, what your business does. So there are platforms like golden 5 or golden 4 is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Twitch. And I will go over each of them because LinkedIn is a new player. Like the LinkedIn Live was introduced in 2018, like just 2 years ago. So it's new. And why this is important? Because, as I said, you can stream to this gold standard, like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Why should you care about Twitch, you might say, right?
Yeah.
And the answer for that is that there are a lot of people on Twitch that you might not know, like myself. Like I am a marketeer. I am doing this as a full-time job, but I am a gamer as well. And I am of what is happening in the gaming world. I am well aware of Twitch and how things are. And Twitch is doing a good moves as well. They are introducing categories like just chatting or talk shows and podcasts, because Twitch understands that gaming as a like categories as like games is not always enough, because there are businesses that might benefit from this audience of this target demographics and increase their reach to those that will never be, let's say, on Facebook or LinkedIn, but they will be on Twitch. So it's just one extra mile to get to the desired people for your business.
That's a great answer. And sometimes you just need to play around with these things. Sometimes you won't know. Sometimes you might have a suspicion that you have an audience on a particular platform, and you try for a couple of times and actually no one's watching. And but maybe you're trying a different platform and loads of people are watching. And I found this actually, I didn't see any point in streaming to Periscope, but then I found actually I was getting quite a few comments and a lot of people watching on Periscope. So I thought, that's interesting. I haven't tried Twitch that much. I need to experiment with Twitch. And one time I experimented with VK, which I think is the Russian network. And so the great thing about Restream is that you can experiment with all these different things and see these different channels and see what works, what doesn't work. Of course, the only thing to think about is it probably isn't you can just stream to Twitch, but if you're going to stream to Twitch, you probably need to look into what makes Twitch different and how do you publicize on Twitch. And so you need to maybe do a bit of background checking first. But I've heard some really good things about Twitch. It's not just gaming now. I know that there's quite a big crafting community. So a friend of mine, Jeff C, who's been on the show, is streaming to Twitch because he's actually doing some wood carving on his using live videos. So you can do some really cool things and experiment with all of those things. So I'm definitely going to check that out. I'm going to try and stream through a few more different platforms, and particularly mess around with Twitch, which would be really, really cool. So it's time to just to bring in a couple of questions, and then I'm going to go on to my second sponsor. Leanne says, how do you compare BeLive or StreamYard? I've actually written a whole article which looks at those two, and I'm going to be adding Restream in a bigger way to this article. It is, if you go to my blog, iag.me, you'll see further down there's basically the must-have live streaming tools of 2020. I do talk about Restream a little bit in there, but until recently, it didn't have its own actual app for live streaming from itself. Of course, that's now changed, hasn't it, Victor? So I'm really excited. We're going to be talking about Restream's studio facility, which is really cool. So yeah, I'll put that in the notes for later, but I will be adding Restream hopefully over the next couple of weeks to that article. So this is maybe a more technical question. I don't know whether you know the answer to this. If you don't, Victor, then you'll know people that do. Channel 7A is asking, is Restream compatible with LiveUSolo for streaming from remote locations? So from my understanding, the LiveUSolo is basically, it's a piece of kit that allows you to go out and about, and you can basically go live from anywhere. And I think it basically provides a wireless hotspot as well. Do you know anything about that, or can you find out for us?
Yes, basically I know what it is, and to give you more context, we partnered with LiveU not so long ago. And so to answer it simply, yes, Restream is integrated in LiveU, and you can easily go live from LiveU to Restream and then all the end platforms. And furthermore, we even partnered and we are completely integrated in the platform.
That's really cool. And actually, I've noticed that Restream basically is integrated in a lot of tools out there. A lot of tools. I mean, Ecamm Live, StreamYard, and you can, if you have we had the CEO of Miva Cameras, and you can do it from all of those different things. You don't have to use Restream on its own, although we will be talking about how you can just use Restream from it on its own in a little bit. Got Dewi Jones watching on LinkedIn. It's great to see you, Dewi. Thank you for joining us. So this is a longer question just before we get on to my next sponsor. I'll read this out. It's so this is from Emmanuel Millet, who says, hi, I'm learning about streaming video for my business, not for gaming. And to me, it's kind of confusing to find a real tutorial on how to start with it, especially multicasting with YouTube and Facebook page. I've heard about OBS Studio, and I don't know what that works with. Have you got any recommendations? So I'll answer first. Certainly, Emmanuel, you can use OBS Studio. I've got a full tutorial on how to stream to Facebook, and actually you can stream to Restream from OBS Studio. But there definitely are easier solutions now. OBS Studio was probably the way to go back in 2016, but now there are easier ways to multicast. What would you say to Emmanuel, Victor?
So to answer his question, surely he can use OBS as a standard and more, I would say, hard way to do this. But recently, you can go live directly from your browser using Restream Studio, and you can what you need for this is just add your channels in our dashboard and click on the live studio inside Restream and go live from your browser. So simple as it sounds.
Well, that's great, and we're going to look at that just after the break. So if you can just keep watching, I'm going to go into that, and you'll tell me a little bit more about that, Victor, which I'm really excited about, because I haven't had the chance to play with it yet, and this is really, I think, a game changer, being able to do this so easily, being able to multicast so easily. So keep the questions coming. It's great to have those there. But it is time for I'm just trying to find the right button to press. So I want to introduce my next sponsor, which is Content 10x. So Content 10x have been sponsoring this podcast for quite a while now, pretty much since the beginning. They are experts in content repurposing. They provide a full end-to-end repurposing service. And this is one of the reasons why I love live video. Yes, you can multicast to all these different platforms, reaching big audiences, but it's also a great and quick way of creating content quickly and easily. Once you've planned that content, you go live, you deliver, you've now got a piece of content that's going to last on the interwebs, on the social media for ages. But why not repurpose that to explode across the internet? So this is what Content 10x does. They will take your live show and they will take that and repurpose that into blog posts, podcast episodes, videos, social media images, infographics, you name it, they can do that. This helps you reach new audiences and helps you save time so that you can focus on building your business. So if you want to learn how to do this yourself, you can do. They've got an awesome blog, podcast, and a new book at content10x.com, or you can hire them to do that work for you. So do check them out, content10x.com. Thank you so much, Amy and the team, for sponsoring this show. It's really great to have you. So Victor, thanks for that. Emmanuel says, okay, I'll try that. And we're going to talk about that, about the studio in a little bit. And Channel 7A are also thankful about the advice on the LiveUSolo, which is not a device I've played around with much myself. I've looked into it and it looks really cool, particularly for those mobile broadcasts. So, right. What do you feel, Victor, I mean, you've been at Restream for 2 years. You know the product more than most people. So what are the best features of Restream, do you think? What are you most excited about?
That's a good question, yeah, and thank you for asking.
I'm doing your work for you, aren't I? Doing your marketing for you. But it's a serious question because there's so much. I mean, I think when people sign up at Restream or they look at it, they can almost be overwhelmed. There's so much there. So can you maybe just talk about the best features in your opinion?
So as we talked before, at its core, Restream is all about multi-streaming. It is the number one priority, and our goal, mission is for people to reach more people with multi-streaming. And this concept and all of the tools that we've built, all the features are around the multi-streaming ecosystem. So there are several features or products that help you as a professional, as a creative, to reach more people, as chat. Because what is the point of reaching more people if you just cannot engage with them, if you cannot communicate with them, if you don't see what your audience is talking about? What's the point of all this multi-streaming, right? What is the point of going live on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube if you don't see what people are talking about? So we built chat as a standalone app because people can use it for different purposes, but at its core, you just need to see what people are talking about. You need to engage with them.
Yeah, that's the awesome
this
thing.
This is what the Restream chat is about. The next one will be analytics, because if you are a professional, if you take your business serious, and it's important. If you take your business serious, you should pay attention to metrics. You should pay attention to numbers. Because how else would you know if you grow or not? And in our case, as I said before, since everything plays around multi-streaming, you should understand how channels are performing based on the activities. Let's say that, for instance, on Tuesday, you're doing a Q&A session. And on Thursday, you're doing an interview or any other type of live content, right? And analytics can show you directly how people engage with your content, which channels particularly are performing best, which are not, what people are saying about you. So this is important to understand which topics are best for your audience, to understand which channels are performing best, and how you can grow this live video machine to improve your business.
Yeah, I know. I love the chat feature because I think that was a game changer when you released that, because before it was possible to obviously to restream, but I shied away from it because I couldn't easily see people commenting on all the different platforms, and so I ended up ignoring people. And so with the chat feature, this allows us to be able to see all the comments on all the different platforms. Not LinkedIn yet, but hopefully LinkedIn will release this feature soon. And if listening or watching in the future, hopefully that will have happened. But it is such an important feature. And then of course is the actual multicasting thing is very simple. So if do you want to take us through this on the screen if I can find it? So this is the destination. So maybe if I just go onto this, you can see all the different destinations that I've connected. So I've got Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, VK, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and this little box here. Is that right, Victor? This is where I will see the preview before I go live.
Yes, exactly.
That's great. Cool. Okay, so I think we've left people waiting long enough. Are you going to tell us a little bit more about this new feature called Restream Studio? Have I got that right?
Yes, you got
Cool.
that right.
Excellent.
It's as simple as Restream.io/studio. So once again, multi-streaming being a core feature for the company, we wanted to share this vision with more and more people. So more entrepreneurs and businesses could get benefit of this activity. But unfortunately, before it was not easy. When I joined Restream, there was not another way as using a tool like OBS and then connect Restream and then put it to go to the end platforms. So it was like a middleman. But right now with Restream Studio, you don't need any additional software. You don't need OBS, you don't need Streamlabs, you don't need any other. You just go to our browser, you just go to, oh, thank you, Jan. Yes, this is how it looks inside. So it's just a separate tab in the dashboard, and you don't need anything else from your like your computer, your laptop, and a browser, preferably Chrome.
Yeah, Chrome. Well, Chrome sometimes works better. But so for those who can't see, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm just sharing the new screen. This is the live studio, which is in Restream, and you can see you can see my video, my webcam that I'm sharing. And so this is what the live viewers will see. Do you want to take us through a little bit more about what the features are here? Because I can see at the top, we've got chat, captions, graphics, and setup. And there's that's the chat. So I'll be able to see all the live comments coming through. Can you take us through some other features?
Oh yeah, sure. So before we move to the right part of the dashboard, let's go to the settings and cameras and so on. So basically, in settings, you can choose which camera input you have, and if you want to share your an audio and video. So the other tab is screen sharing, and I wouldn't click on that, but just so it allows you to share your screen. This turns on off your camera and the mic.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as you could see it. Nothing special. And I think it's similar to as other like calling services have, like Skype or Zoom, right? So what is important here is the right section is the chat. So chat is the first one because you need to see what people are typing and engage with them. So this is why it is the first tab. So you could, and also, as Ian just did, you can showcase some of the comments during your live stream. This is important because you should always, like, it's just a next step in the engagement. You take a comment and you show this to all your audience, so everyone is on the same page. Everyone knows what we are talking about. So this is a powerful tool to do this. Next step, I believe, is captions. So this is an easy one. You can put any text you wish and put it during your live stream. So you can add like call to actions. You can add any text. You can add like your name, your role, like the introduction. Like follow me. This is a good one. Yeah. So this is a simple yet powerful tool to engage more with the people and to. What are you typing? Yeah. Yeah. Turn up the volume. Yes, exactly. So, yeah, I guess there is nothing much to add, as you can add simply anything to be shown there.
That's cool.
And the last tab is graphics. So, this is also, I would call it as a brand tab, because a default suite is, you can check, you can put your logo, you can put overlay and background, and all of these features are important for your business, are important for your live stream, and like you should always put your logo. You can, some background if you need to make a transition. You can always put a background meanwhile during the live stream. And overlays are just, you can put different elements there, not just a frame. So this is a placeholder, but you can be so creative with this thing. You can put literally anything there. It's just up to you and what are your goals. You can even put another call to action there.
Yeah.
So you can do it at the same time. It all depends on your mood and your live content.
I mean, I love overlays. I mean, obviously, as you can, if you're watching this, you can see I've got loads of overlays on all of these, and it just makes it a bit more creative and a bit different. And so I love that you can add overlays very, very easily in Restream, and there are many tools out there. I mean, the one that I tend to use is either Canva or Photoshop, of course, and you can make these very easily and then just add them. What you need, obviously, is to make sure you've got some transparency there. Otherwise, people aren't going to be able to see you. So you have a transparent box that allows you to be able to come out of the middle of the shot there. But that's really cool. So well, thank you for sharing all of that, and I can't wait to get to grips with this, because it's a really easy way for people to multicast. Before with Restream, it was still easy to use, but you would use another tool. Could be OBS Studio, it could be another tool out there that would stream to Restream, and then Restream will stream it to all the platforms. And of course, you can still do that, and that's something that I will do as well, because it means you can use whatever tool you like. But now with the Live Studio, you can just go live straight through the tool, which is awesome. So are you excited about that?
Sometimes you just need a tool that gets the job done, because even with the OBS, it was still simple to do it. It's not a hard tool to go to the settings and find Restream and connect it. But still, there was a learning curve, and a lot of people just simply don't have time, don't have energy or focus to take this, and they don't see the reason, because OBS is not as simple as it might sound, but it always will be simpler to go to your browser and and click one button and go live.
Yeah. And I think sometimes actually, you can do a bit of both. I mean, there's sometimes if you want to do a really kind of complicated, in-depth show with loads of, I don't know, you're changing the scene using your Stream Deck. If you want to get really geeky, yes, you can use your standard tool like OBS with Restream. But then sometimes you'll just want to go live really quickly and easily. So we've got some comments. Dave Brown says, "Good morning. Yes, I love streaming out through Restream. The integrated platforms are so useful. Totally agree." Now, Leon says, "Can you have guests?" And I think I know the answer to that. The answer is not yet. Am I right?
Not yet. Yes, we are working on that, and so stay tuned.
Yeah. So probably when you're listening to this in the future, Restream will have added that. So at the moment you can't bring in remote guests, but that is coming. And at the moment, if you do want to multicast using Restream, just use a different tool that will allow you to do that, and then you can stream through Restream, which is cool. And Dave Brown has shared this out. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you for that. So we're almost there. We're almost at the end of the show, but I just had a couple of other questions, Victor, that I wanted to ask you. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure things have been great at Restream. You've had some really fun times, but what have maybe been your frustrations, and what do you feel are the missing features in Restream at the moment? Because I think, no tool is perfect. There's always something that, different tools are wanting to work on. What do you feel are your frustrations and the missing features right now?
So let me think for a second about the frustrations. Since we are a multi-streaming platform, the most difficult part is that we are somehow dependent on the end platforms. So and if, let's say, and this is the issue why we still don't have like integrated Instagram, because Instagram API is locked, and there is no like easy way to go live on Instagram legally.
Yeah,
let's say it that way.
That's true, because there are that I have seen apps out there that allow you to broadcast to Instagram live, and I've had people come up to me saying, "Hey, I've seen this app. It looks really cool. It allows me to do it." And I say, "Yeah, but you're breaking the terms and conditions, and if you want to get banned from Instagram, use that."
Exactly. So this is one of the frustrations is that it all depends on the end platforms, and we are glad that we are working with all of them, and we build relationships, and we know what are the things that we want to bring on. And as you said about the missing features, a lot of people just would like to see LinkedIn chat, and hopefully it will be there very soon, or I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, well, we're waiting for Instagram. So not Instagram, LinkedIn, in that case.
Yes, exactly. So, and also for the missing, I wouldn't call it missing features, but surely as of right now they're missing. But we are working to bring them on board. And one of which is for sure the guests, because interviews is always in top line of live streaming, and we are going to bring them very soon. And the other thing being is green screen. I know a lot of people are using it in OBS and other tools, but we are also wanting it on board in Restream directly. And this is, you are talking about the Restream core part. Also, there is chat and a lot of improvements there, including LinkedIn chat and some other. And recently we've got the improvements in stickers and super chat, if you are familiar with that. So YouTube has super chat when you can like donate some money, and there is a small pop-up. And so now this feature is integrated in Restream chat. So we are constantly working to bring new features on board.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, as I said before, no tool is perfect. But what I've been really impressed with you guys is you do listen. You are adding new features all the time. I noticed that new feature recently about adding super chats, and of course there's now the studio, which is awesome. And so if there are any other tools, I can see Leanne is asking how soon for the guests. So obviously a lot of people are kind of wanting all these features now, but obviously there's only so much coffee you can give your developers without them having heart palpitations, and we don't want that. So yeah. So well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we finish? Any new things coming up? Anything that you'd like to talk about? What's next for Restream?
What's next? I think we already covered this in the previous question. There are a lot of things that we will announce very soon, including guests. So just stay tuned.
Just stay tuned
and stay safe.
Absolutely.
This is such a time, right?
Certainly is. It's a difficult time for so many, but one of the great things about live video is that it does bring people together. It does connect people. It can't replace giving people hugs, unfortunately, but you can give people virtual hugs and you can connect with people all around the world.
True story. And I'm glad that a lot of people are utilizing live streaming. They're like professionals from the real world, like musicians or gym trainers or like any other, or as you said, the craftsmen, right? So like 2 days ago, we've seen Linkin Park streaming from Restream, and a lot of musicians as well. So this is great.
It's a real creative time I've seen. So I'm from the musical world. I trained as a classical singer. My wife's a composer and she teaches at the Royal Northern College of Music here in Manchester. And a lot of our friends in the musical world, I mean, it's really hit them hard because, all their income's gone completely and, they can't play. A lot of them are self-employed. So they're taking to Facebook Live and YouTube Live and they're being creative. And it is really amazing to see. So yeah, as well as stay safe, be creative, do connect with people, do check out Restream at restream.io. And I've got a special link, which is also an affiliate link. If you go to iag.me/Restream, and you can have a little play. There is a free plan and paid plans with different features, and all of that is on the Restream website. Well, thanks, Victor. It's been so good to have you on the show, and we've had a lot of fun talking about restreaming. Leanne says, thanks all for the great info. And yes, I'm sure if you could let us know, Leanne, how you get on with Restream, and I'm sure the guests feature will be out before you know it. But thanks so much, Victor. It's been great to have you on. But until next time.
Thank you.
Until next time, I pray, if I can speak, my brain's gone completely to mush. I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray. Be sure to join the community at iag.me, where you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video. And until next time, toodaloo.